Hello, folks out there in YouTube land. All you guys that love aquariums, are looking to get into the nano tanker, saltwater reef. This is Mike from What Works For Me Aquarium. Said I'd give you another video. This is an update. Last time I showed you the tank, it wasn't even any water in it. This past Sunday, I went ahead and filled it up, put the sand in, the rocks in, put my filtration in, and everything is working fine. As you can see, yesterday I added a little clownfish, and he seems to be doing fine. So, all seems to be well at this point, although it is very early. Now, let me let you in on a few things. First, in my area, I don't know if you're going to have the same problem, but I really had a hard time finding RODI water. In fact, I didn't find any. The closest I can come is an aquarium shop, which is an hour and 20 minutes away. Because I have no intention of driving all that way every time I need some RODI water. So what I did was I purchased something called an RO Buddy, which is a rather compact RODI system. It's currently running right now in my kitchen sink and filling my bucket up with RODI water. So I'm not too unhappy about it. I'm going to do a separate video on it because it did need some explanation. Now, I've got something I want to mention about what you see in front of a couple of things. First, I want to mention the fact that I have an Eheim heater. I got the Eheim heater. It was recommended because it's supposed to be more reliable than the Fluval heater that this unit came with, this tank came with. Now, let me tell you what I found out, and it's just a little disturbing. I set the tank up. Off to my left, you can't see it. Here's a plastic bucket full of salt water. And that's what I did. It mixed the salt water, and I let it sit for a day, and I had it aerated. And I put the thermometer, the heater in it, rather, in order to bring it up to about 80 degrees. Now, it's a tall plastic trash can that holds 13 gallons. The heater never did bring the water up to that temperature. I think it close to made it with like 75. So I thought, okay, well, maybe it's just because of the height of the dimensions of the trash can. So I went ahead and put water in the tank. I put the heater in the tank. And in order to get it to 80 degrees is where I basically want to keep it. I had to set the dial on 81, I think, or something. And it brought it up to that temperature. Yesterday, something strange happened. I came in, looked at my thermometer, and it said the tank water was 75. I did not reset this. I didn't do anything to the heater. It's just still the same. And today, this morning before I left for work, I set it on 83, and it still says 75. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know what's wrong with my heater. It is functioning. I can see it's on. You can feel the heat from it. But it just simply doesn't want to run with the tank. So by this evening, if I haven't got satisfaction out of it, I'm going to swap it out for the Fluval heater and see if we get a better situation going. The other thing is that the Eheim pump that was recommended, which I really do like the flow, it's a little noisy. The funny thing was the first time I set it up, it didn't make any noise at all. I put it in this place where I've got it now, it's permanent setup, and it's kind of loud. So, yeah, it is what it is. The Kessel light that I mentioned, I think, in my last video. It's set up, it's going, it's working fine, as you can see here. I do have an exception with it in that the way it ramps up. It doesn't really ramp up to begin with. The first setting is fairly bright. So when the lights come on at 7 a.m., I've got them set for, it has a tendency to come on very strong very quickly. I'd rather it come on very dim and build itself up, but the lowest possible setting is still very bright, so I don't really care for that feature. And if there's something out there you guys know of it's better, a different kind of controller, or some other way of doing it, I appreciate knowing. Someone just came up with a dongle for the larger version of the Kessel light, which allows you to control it through Wi-Fi for your phone, and it seems to have fixed this feature. So there's not one for the smaller light yet. So anyway, we'll see what happens next. Okay, there's my gripes. Here's a question for you guys. You see the rock arrangement currently and the sand. I may have gotten a little carried away. Let me explain that. There are currently 27 pounds of rock in this tank, and a normal suggestion is a pound of rock per gallon of aquarium, which would have made it 13 pounds, not 20. I basically doubled it. I like the way it looks, quite frankly, and I didn't want to not use some of the rock I had. So I wound up, there are two pieces in here that was a cave shape, and I popped them in two, and they made great little shelves. As you can see, they're all over the place. And the rest of the rock was either came from a I bought a box, a 10-pound box of Carib Sea Life Rock, and it had everything else in it. And one piece was actually I found at Petco, so I went and bought that. So this is what we got going right now. Now that is a full bag of live sand in the bottom. So here's what I want. I want your opinion. Tell me what you think. Too much rock or no? And the reason I say that is because when I got finished filling it up, there's only about 7.5 gallons of water. So I've reduced that 13-gallon tank down to about a 7-gallon tank, which means I'm going to be fairly limited on livestock and so forth. But nonetheless, we'll see how well this is doing. Now, as I said it up Sunday, and just a few days later, I added a fish. And everybody's going, "Oh my God, you can't do that." Now let me tell you what I found. First, put the live rock, then the live sand, and I added Dr. Tim's One and Only. And when I checked the parameters of the tank, day before yesterday, everything had balanced out. I mean, it's like it had gone through a cycle. I had no ammonia, no nitrite, and about 5 parts per million of nitrate. And that's what it looked like to me. So anyway, it's going to be very closely monitored. I put the fish in yesterday. Tomorrow I'm going to take another reading to see whether he's affected the tank at all, which I kind of doubt considering his size, but it's possible. So I'll keep doing that. My next video is actually going to be on the RO Buddy because I think you need to know a few things about it. It seems to be a great unit. I have it currently processing some water right now. It's a little on the slow side. I've had it run for about an hour, and I'm getting close to about 5 gallons of water. But that's really all I need, so I'm not really too worried about it. Something else I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor very closely how much water the tank uses on a daily basis. That way I'll know how much water to keep on hand. At any rate, here we are. This is where we're at. Folks, if you got any comments or questions or anything like that, please sure and add them in the comment section. If you would please like and subscribe. That way you can keep up on what I'm doing, and I'll be glad to talk to you about anything. So thanks a lot, folks, for tuning in again, and have a good day.